Cain, you had some travel issues getting here. No travel issues? So we were told some fake news then?
Yeah, it's just normal travel stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you wearing a Phoenix Suns? Is that a Phoenix Suns hat? Are you a Phoenix Suns fan, or are you just you are now?
I'm a fan. No. Hey, come on, man, from Arizona. No, I've always been a fan of like the Phoenix teams. And now that I live in Northern California, I still try to represent as much as I can. But my second home, Northern California, I like those teams as well. So I'm always supporting both teams. But yeah, I'm a Suns fan.
So when the Suns play the Rockets, you in DC kind of.
He's a Rockets fan? I didn't even know that.
Rockets guy, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah. The Suns are rebuilding right now,
Yes, they are.
But yes, I'm a Suns fan.
Constantly rebuilding. It's been a while since we've seen you, man. How are you feeling? How's the health?
Feeling good. The health is good. Feel strong. The time off was good, man. It was something that I really needed, for my body and for my mind to kind of take a step back and kind of regroup, and so I feel good. I've had a great training camp. So yeah, man, I'm just ready to go out there and do this.
Is it hard not to rush back? Because I imagine that when you're out, all the mentions on your social media are probably like, Cain, when are you coming back? When are you coming back? When are you coming back? Over and over and over again. Is that hard?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is what it is. I needed to take time off for myself. I've always done the quick come back, as fast as I can. But for what? What's the rush for? And I've always had some positive and some negative stuff happen when I've come back too early. So now again, the time off that I've taken was great, something that I needed. I heard all the fans constantly just ask me, when am I coming back? But for me, it's more of a thing of, I'll come back when the time is right, and so the time is now.
Would you say that maybe some of the lingering issues you've had are because you maybe came back early from some injuries?
It's just from training, what we do as a sport, how we train, what's the best way of training. Again, to be the best that you can be, you don't do it by working half-assed. You don't do it by not putting 100% into your work. You know what I mean? To get the best Cain Velasquez, to get the best fighter out there that people want to see, you need to train hard. And that's the only way that I know how to do it.
So you're training as hard as you ever have, despite all of the setbacks that have happened. Yeah.
Yes, I am.
To play devil's advocate, is there a balance maybe, because you want to be the best you can be, but you also, in order to make the money, you need to actually get in the cage, right? So is there any kind of balance to find?
There is, but again, you're not going to be as good, right, if you don't put 100% of your work out there. There is overtraining, but I don't overtrain. The time that I got to go out there and train, I do it 100%. So there's
I was talking to Javier back in, I think it was September, before the Habib fight, and I asked him about you then, and he was like, Cain is ready to come back. This was back in September. Just a matter of figuring out, I guess, the X's and O's, the numbers wise. Mm-hmm. I guess all that is figured out now with the UFC and the contract stuff.
Yeah, it all had to make sense as well, for me to come back. Again, it takes a lot out of me from the training aspect. But I love it. I love what I do. I love to go out there and train. I love to train, with high intensity. I'm so competitive. I'm so competitive just in my daily life that that's just how I am. Even when I'm going into training and try to back off a little bit, but it's the competitiveness in me, to go out there and to win, even in small things. So it's a good and bad, but again, when everything goes right, then you get the best Cain out there.
Did they make it worth your while financially, though, for this fight in the future?
Yeah, they did. Something that I'm happy with. Something that for me and my family makes sense. So you know, that now that we got all that squared away and took the time to get everything right, I'm ready.
So you prepared to walk away if the numbers didn't make sense?
Yes.
It seems like the belt is kind of off the table for a while. Your teammate has the belt. In what way does it change your motivation to get ready for this fight, this new run, this new year?
Again, man, for me, it's just getting back. You know, it's all the motivation I need. You know, just to be in the gym and being able to do everything, to train everything. For me, the motivation is just I love to train. I love to go out and fight. You know, I never needed any extra motivation. You know, if I get to do what I love to do, then I'm good. I'm straight. You know.
Was Ngannou the first opponent they approached you with for the comeback?
Yeah. Yes.
Dana once described his power as a Ford Escort. Power of Ford Escort. If you had to describe your own power,
Ford Escorts suck. Weak.
So could you use a different sort of
car? Ford Escort. That's the best thing he can come up with. He's a Ford Escort. That's it. That's the one. What the fuck is that?
So what car would be Cain Velasquez car?
I don't know. Shit. It'd be something better than that. Anything would be better than that. They don't even make Ford Escorts anymore, do they? No. No, I know Francis hits hard. You know, he's really powerful with his hands. Just a really strong guy. I know that. You know, he's very dangerous there. It's like anything, you know, it's just a chess match. We got to go out there and beat him the best way that we know how, the best way that we can, and that's just with everything, you know, with the strikes, with the wrestling. You know, just, if the fight goes 5 rounds, just make it a 5-round war. You know, that's what we have to do. But I know he hits hard. You know, we have to be aware of that. That's his strength. So.
You're a big car guy. I feel like the escort thing kind of offended you.
It should offend Francis. Not me. I wasn't called a Ford Escort.
I wanted to circle back for a second. You said that if things didn't work out contractually, you were ready to, you know, maybe call it a day in MMA. Yeah. How close did that come?
I always thought about it. You know, just me and my family. We've talked about it. You know, my wife and I. And again, if it didn't make sense, yeah, I'd be able to walk away, and I would be okay with that. You know, there is life after fighting, so you know, it's all about that. I have kids now, and you know, it's all about that longevity. You know, but it just had to all make sense. So it has.
How would you have fulfilled that competitive streak of yours, the one you were just talking about?
I'd find it in something, you know, anything. Yeah, I mean, whatever I would do, I mean, I would find it in something, and I would be the best that I could at it, you know, at whatever I found.
Okay, you said that you don't need any extra motivation of a belt going into a fight. But is there a difference to the hunger that you had when you first won the belt and then you won the belt back to now? Is there a different hunger that you had going in?
No, it's just the same, you know, it's the same amount, I would say. For me, it's been a while, you know, since I've come back and fought. So I feel great coming back, and you know, it's like even a couple years ago when I had those little injuries trying to train. I mean, it's different now. I'm not dealing with that, you know. So it's like there's more positive. I feel like now, you know, than there was back then. You know, there was doubts. It's like, well, I don't know if I'm ever going to get better, you know, like. Physically, are these injuries always going to be a part of my career? You know, and now training and stuff, it's like it's not. You know, so.
When you see, I'm sure you've been watching heavyweight fights the past few years. When you see a lot of these guys gas out, are you thinking to yourself, I can't wait to get back in there because I have a cardio pace that these guys couldn't keep up with? I mean, you saw Derek Lewis and Ngannou; they were tired, they couldn't even throw a punch.
Yeah, you know, when you see that, you know, it's just different body types. I mean, like Francis and then Derek Lewis, those guys are just big guys, You know, I understand that if you throw a lot of punches, then they're going to get tired. I have a different body type. I'm a smaller heavyweight. I move a lot more. You know, my attribute is my cardio and just all the pressure that comes along with it. So it just comes down to body type. You know, with those guys, I know that they are going to get tired. So just got to go out there and you know, weather the storm. And hopefully you get them into those later rounds and you're able to kind of, you know, make the fight a little easier for yourself, you know, and that's for me speaking.
Cain, obviously, while you were out, you had Stipe become heavyweight champion, and he broke the record for title defenses. A lot of people were saying, you know, we thought it was going to be Cain Velasquez. For you on the sidelines, what was it like to just watch that and watch his run, knowing that you weren't in action? No. Stipe just put in work when he needed to do it, you know, and he performed when he had to do it. So I'm like, my hat's off to him with the guys that he's fought. I believe he's been a great champion. I knew just going in, like watching him throughout his career, I knew how good he was. But when Daniel had the opportunity to fight him, I didn't see anywhere where Daniel would lose that fight, you know, and I was pretty confident in that. And speaking with Daniel for his training camp, I mean, I just didn't see it, you know. And now, obviously, DC and Stipe, they're kind of doing their thing on social media, and we know that DC, he's holding out, you know, for the Brock fight, possibly, John Jones rumors. But what do you think about Stipe, because he was on such a dominant run, pushing for a rematch for the belt?
I mean, hey man, that's just the way it went, you know. This is a lot of entertainment in the sport than actually being like a legitimate sport. So anything can happen at any moment, and just because you were the reigning defending heavyweight champion doesn't mean you get a title shot right away.
Final one from me is that, you know, you versus Stipe, is that still a fight that you might entertain, or is it just something, you know, if the UFC offers it after this one?
Yeah, I mean, both, you know, like, he's obviously a guy that's been a champion for a while, you know, has fought a lot of great guys and has won. And I've never fought against him. I think, yeah, I've always looked at that matchup of how would I match up with him, and, you know, I think he's a great champion and all, or was a great champion. But for me, it's everybody in the UFC at the heavyweight division that I look at that way, right? You kind of have to stylistically just look at everyone and see how you would match up, and the possibility of you would probably fight them in the future. But right now, right now, focused on Francis, and what, you know, I have a large task to get over on, you know. I believe Francis is a tough guy, a dangerous guy, you know, more than anything. So just looking at this fight right now, really focused on it. I kind of get the blinders on, you know what I mean? I don't really think of anything else except for me versus who I'm fighting. And that's just, just so focused on that.
How much of you and Daniel, maybe not at all, talked about the future of where you guys are, the division? It seems like Daniel is now not going to retire like he had planned this month, or I guess next month, and he's going to continue on. Have you guys discussed that at all?
For me, it's just like, I'm busy in what I'm doing, you know, and for Daniel, it's just whatever he wants to do, you know, whatever he wants to do. If he wants to retire soon, then I believe that, you know, like, then do that. But if he doesn't, I understand him as a competitor. You know, he's an extremely competitive guy. He's a gamer. You know, when time comes, I mean, he's on. So, think of it again. It all depends on what he wants to do. You know, in his career right now. So, I got his back 100%. Whatever he wants to do. You know, he has my support.
Is that an opposition because, you know, you're obviously one of the best heavyweights in the world, and you're looking up, and a guy that you're not going to fight is a champion. Is that kind of a strange position where, what are the goals in that sense?
I see it as, because we've helped each other out with our whole careers, coming into the UFC or into fighting. Whenever he goes out there and wins, like that's a part of me winning. Out there, I've helped him, and vice versa. He's helped me, and I know he feels the same way. When he fights, there's a lot of pressure on me. It's almost like I'm fighting out there. When he wins, it's like I won, and I was able to be a part of that. So again, whatever he wants to do, I'm behind him. But I'm just glad that I got to do that, with him. I got to experience those years of training with him, and that we got to help each other through this career.
How bad do you want to see DC versus Jones at heavyweight?
Again, it all depends on what DC wants to do. If he wants to do it, then I'm behind him. I'm supporting him. But if he doesn't, then I understand as well. Like, that's not for him. I understand that. So it's not so much that I want to see that matchup so bad. It's more of just whatever DC wants to do. I think he's done. Look what he's done. Does he need to do more? That's up to him. But I think on whatever he wants to do, I'm good with. I'm happy with.
Is that a way different fight at heavyweight compared to 205? Do you think?
Is it a way different fight? It could be. I think it could be a better fight. Without the guys having to cut weight and stuff like that, you'll see definitely a more action-packed fight than what you've seen before, and that's kind of hard to believe, right? I kind of see that.
You said you didn't need any additional motivation for your fights, but you're kicking off UFC on ESPN. Does that bring a different type of excitement or dynamic to, or do you see it as the same going in as any other network, or since it's ESPN, does that bring a little more excitement?
It was just the fact that I got to fight in Arizona. The timing was perfect. I felt good and ready, and they proposed this fight for me, and with Francis, I thought it was a good fight matchup, and just to be in Arizona, it's like it was perfect. So I jumped on it, and yeah.
You mentioned Arizona. You went to school there. Ryan Bader's the Bellator champ right now. He's also from there. Kevin Gaston was here a few weeks ago with us. He went to school in Arizona. Is Arizona overlooked as a little bit of a hotbed for fighters? Like, what do you think separates Arizona fighters and people that are coming out of Arizona from other fighters?
I think it being, this might not be right, but kind of don't quote me or whatever. But you kind of think Arizona State's a party school, Like me going into college, I didn't know what I wanted to do after college. I knew I wanted just to wrestle, and I'm sure a lot of people are in the same boat. That the majority of their mental is to be there for their sport and to wrestle. So we've had a long lineage of great UFC champions from Arizona State, and I think it has to do with part of the partying theme. We're there to wrestle and and have fun, and we just like to fight.
So the partying prepares you to be a better fighter?
Because you might get in a fight at a party. So I guess. No, so shit, I don't know. Do you have a better?
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
It's not only fighting though. It's like James Harden went to Arizona State. James Harden's doing his thing.
Harden, yeah, for
You know what I'm saying?
basketball,
So
yes. He didn't fight.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Basketball. But we have Don Fry that went there, Dan Severin, Dan Henderson, John Moraga, Ryan Bader, CP Dalloway. My head coach, Tom Ortiz, is actually going to schedule a fight again. This is his third fight. He's like 50, he's like 70 years old. And then Aaron Simpson was our assistant coach. He fought. You know, again, long lineage of great fighters from Arizona State. So.
You kind of showed up at the WWE Performance Center last summer, and a lot of people were like, "Whoa, what is Cain doing with WWE?" Was there anything to that, or was that just kind of a fun week for you down there?
No, it was more like just a learning process for me. You know, it's obviously it's a different sport. There's a whole different way of doing it. So for me, just take the opportunity to see if I could even do it. You know, if does it translate over from what I've done in the past to this, or is it something totally different? I found that for me, I learned a lot of this stuff just really quickly from past experiences from wrestling and from MMA. And it's like working with someone instead of kind of working against them and trying to beat them, you know, which I thought was super cool. Really good atmosphere with the people that are there, the coaches. And there, you're team together. You're helping each other go forward and try to make WWE the best thing that it can be. And just that mentality is awesome. It's different than what we do here in mixed martial arts. You know, we have teams that we're associated with, yes. But as far as the whole sport in general, I mean, we're not really all working all together for the same goal. It's a little different, you know. It's a little more self-centered. WWE might seem that way, but it's not. It's people working together. It's the people, you know, in charge, like Triple H, helping everyone to be their best. And that to me is something that I haven't experienced. You know, since I was in college or in high school, you know, so that to me was great. Just really positive work environment, you know, so it was awesome.
So what was the prognosis? Can you do it?
Hell yeah.
Is that something that you're interested in doing?
I am, you know, just because again, like the transition for me, I found like it was pretty easy. Not pretty easy, but it was you know, it was. I'm pretty athletic for a big guy. I learned by watching, you know, somebody doing something. I can do it pretty well. I've never been a guy to be sitting in a classroom and trying to learn that way. That's never been me. But to be in a setting like that where you're hands-on, learning that way, that's the best way to learn.
Did you work on a finisher? Did you work on a finishing move?
I did.
Oh.
Not like to my particular, but I mean they had a ring there that's really soft that you can jump off from the top ropes, you know.
So you went to top rope, you did it all, right?
The top, yeah. No, man, I did it all. It was, again, I was there. I just did whatever like they asked of me, you know. Like no, I'm not doing that. Like that wasn't me. I was in there doing everything they asked, trying to learn just the baby steps and kind of go from there, and just also have fun in the process. Diamond Dallas Page was there doing his DDP yoga before every workout session that we did, and it was great. You know, again, just everybody meeting up to do that before everybody worked out. It was just a great community to be a part of.
So I want to circle back and ask you, because you said that there's life after fighting, and there are things that you maybe would want to do that you still want to be the best at. Could that be one of those things?
That could be one of those things, yes. Yeah. With that too, it also takes time. You know, I need to be in the gym more, you know, to do that. You know, I got to be engulfed in it for months and months to be the best that I could at it. You know, I'm not looking to go in just to do it half-ass and do some appearances here and there. Again, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it 100%. That's just the way I am.
Have you seen like Ronda? Like she's made an incredible amount of progress in just a year. I mean, she's incredible.
Yeah. We've my family and I just like started watching it as a family. You know, introduced it to my daughter Coral, and my wife never really watched it before either, but now that we've started watching it, they love like the drama that's associated with it, and they both get really into it, you know. So it's cool, you know, that we all get to be a part of something like that. We all get to kind of experience it, you know, for the first time as a family. So it's a lot of great times, a lot of great moments, you know, of practicing that, and also, you know, being with my family and just kind of experiencing it.
Okay, you're going to go in being a heel or a face. Have you thought about that yet? The good guy, bad guy going into that?
Yeah, I mean, that would have to take time, right, with like development of character, I guess. Yeah.
What are you feeling? What are you feeling? More heel, feel more face?
I don't know. I think the people will like see me as like the hero. I guess. I don't know. But I could play the heel as well. So,
Either one?
Rock versus Cain too, maybe.
yeah. There or in the fight game. Yeah.
Okay. Either one, maybe both.
Yes. Both back to back.
In the UFC, you've never shied away from showing your pride and your heritage, your family, you know, being Mexican. If you went into the WWE, would your character also have that Latino Mexican, you know, would you go into with that?
Definitely, you know, I think it's just a part of me, you know, it's a part of how I grew up. So, yeah, I think, definitely I would have to do something like that. That's the way that I would see myself doing it, you know. It would have to be some type of Mexican, you know, like swag into it.
Before, when you would go into the octagon, they'd want to put a lot of that, you know, your community, you representing your community on your shoulders. Are you getting to a point in your career where that's more like, are you thinking of yourself more as an individual brand, or do you still carry like your people with you every time you go in there and fight?
No, man, I'm always, for me, the fight game is for myself, you know. No motivation extra needed, it's for myself. But I know the people that are watching, you know, and so for me to go out there and represent, it's amazing, and I'm going to do it to the best of my abilities. I've never been the type of guy to be a leader, of like, you know, being an outspoken leader. It's more of like I lead by example, you know. And that's what I try to do, and hopefully, you know, somebody can see what I do and get some inspiration out of it, you know. But yeah, man, I just do what I do, and just love what I do.
You're still the only Mexican heavyweight champion in combat sports, right? I'm not sure there's ever been a Mexican boxer in the heavyweight. That means something.
It does. No, it does, and it does to me. Again, it's a great honor. I've always been a big fan of boxing as a kid, and I've always rooted for the Mexican boxers, and I've always loved the style that they present. I've always wanted that for myself going into any sport. You know, when I wrestled, it was that same way. It was that same style of wrestling, and then to now, you know, I'm glad that my style has evolved to be in that. A lot of pressure, yeah.
Will Daniel be cornering you on this one?
No, Daniel's working. We talked about it beforehand. I would love to have him there in my corner. You know, I've always had him on my corner since he's been a part of AKA. But no, I understand. You know, he has his other work that he has to do, and you know, I'm gonna go out there and do it without him in my corner as well.
He's been injured recently, so how involved in this camp has he been, and what sort of difference has that made for you not to have a main training partner?
He's been coming in, you know, like as much as he could. He has been coming in, and then we've had guys in there that are like on the younger side, but that have almost the same body types as Francis. You know, they don't hit us hard, but in the wrestling, it's night and day. These guys can wrestle really well. It's really tough to take them down. So I feel good.
How would DC do as a pro wrestler?
Just you do great, you know that. You do great. Yeah, just we're a fan of wrestling for forever, you know, in WWE. He was telling stories, his brother was telling stories that he would do that when they were kids. They'd do the WWE stuff, and he'd be doing like the commentating and all that stuff. So for him, it's been part of his life forever, and he's practiced it on his own. And I've just kind of watched it and wanted to do something real, but he's actually like lived it, you know. So that's pretty cool.
They want him as a commentator. They do.
He do great.
Yeah.
He knows it. He knows it so much. I went to the Elimination Chamber with him a couple years ago when we were doing the Tough Show, and we went to the WWE event, and we both were just going crazy. It was like two kids, you know, going out there. It was just so much fun. I just lost myself in it, you know, in the moment, and just started cheering, and, you know what I mean? It's just really cool.
I saw you had a lucha mask at that event, didn't you?
Yeah, we all ended up getting them at the beforehand. Like we had to go in there with like with old masks and stuff, and then everybody, you know, we all did, and just being there. And again, it was like cheering, and then trying to help people with their technique. You know, it's like it's so stupid. But I mean, we just got into it. Yeah, it was so fun, so fun.